Okay, good afternoon guys. So welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to be talking about the AstrHori 27mm f2.8. So the copy that I have is for Sony APS-C mount, so I'm using it with my A6400. So one of the first reasons why I love this lens is the 27mm focal length. So if you consider the crop factor of Sony, which is 1.5, you get about 40mm, which is a pretty standard lens to carry around with you, because I'm used to carrying a 50mm, and sometimes I want to have a little bit more depth or a little bit more room in the shot. So a 40mm equivalent is actually perfect for me because it works pretty well into having more in the shot rather than just having one subject in the shot. So AstrHori did a pretty good job with designing this lens. It is a full metal body. I love the simplicity on this. It only has a focus ring, nothing else, and it has a USB-C port at the back just to make sure that you can update the firmware whenever you need to. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the design. It has an f2.8 aperture, which can give you decent shallow depth of field. Not really full frame level, but you get f2.8 at least, right? So with a 2.8 aperture, you get a slightly better low light performance. At the same time, you get a little bit of a blurry background. So I forgot to mention that this is actually an autofocus lens. A long time ago, when AstrHori first started making lenses, they only released manual focus lenses. So this is a step up. This is a full autofocus lens, which means you don't have to keep pulling focus. Okay, so let me put the camera on my Peak Design capture clip really quick so I can have an easier time talking. So one of the first things I noticed is that it's really small. It's not very hard to bring around with you because of just the nature of it being a prime lens. It's very easy to bring with you as an everyday carry lens. Also, as I said before, it is a 40mm equivalent, a full frame equivalent, because if you consider 28 times 1.5, you get around 40, which is a pretty standard focal length. You can do so much with it because it replicates what our human eye sees, which is closer between 35mm to 50mm. One more thing that I love about the AstrHori 27mm f2.8 is its minimum focus distance. So normally if you get a lens between 40mm to 50mm, the minimum focus distance is not going to be so good. Like, you won't be able to get up close and personal with your subject. But with this one, it has a very decent minimum focus distance. It has around an 11.8 inch minimum focus distance, which is very usable. It's not really macro-esque per se, but if you want to get up and close and personal with your subjects and you want a little bit of just isolation from everything else that's happening around in the background, this has a very good minimum focus distance because you don't have to crop in manually in post too much. Sorry if I'm squinting so much. It's literally super hot out here. Let me show you. It's really hot right now. I'm at Chunwan West and there's the ocean right there, and I think the sun is reflecting off the water, giving it more heat bouncing off towards me. So one more thing that I forgot to mention is that this has a very quiet focusing motor. This has a stepping motor, which means that whenever you are focusing, it's not going to be doing any whirring or buzzing sounds. So one lens to compare that with is my 50mm f1.8, which squeaks and zzz a lot whenever I do use it. So having a very quiet focusing lens is very nice because not a lot of people will be looking at your lens whenever you're trying to take a photo. It's not going to be doing that bzz, bzz, bzz sound. Sorry for doing the sound. I know it's obnoxious, but that's what it sounds like. So what are my final thoughts on the AstrHori 27mm f2.8? I think this lens is a steal. For the price you're paying, you're getting a 40mm equivalent, because if you think about it, I don't think Sony even has a 40mm equivalent in their lineup. You're going to have to go either for the G Masters or you're going to have to use a zoom to be able to accomplish a focal length like that. So having the AstrHori 27mm f2.8 in my arsenal just gives me a little bit more variety as which primes I can bring out to shoot. I'm not always locked off to using a 35 or a 50mm. I can have something in between, like a 40mm equivalent, which is the 27mm f2.8. Sorry for the confusion with all the crop factor things, because whenever I think about lenses, I always consider the crop factor because I'm used to using full frame, and my A6400 is a crop sensor camera. So you always have to multiply the lens's focal length by 1.5. So sorry for all that jibber jabber. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, or if you want to see more videos like this where I'm outside vlogging and not indoors because I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, please do let me know in the comments. And again, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.